Sitting across the table from me today is the one and only, and I'm not even trying to blow smoke. I'm just telling you right now. No, really, seriously. I have forever been a huge fan. I'm just going to say it and just say, wow, it's Will Kimbrough. And across the table from me today is Will Kimbrough. Will, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. My ego is getting increased.
Yeah, perfect. Good. That's what we want over here. This is how it works on the show.
I'm just going to let you talk.
So I'm Renee Adams. Anyway, so here I sit with Will Kimbrough, and super excited. I've seen you perform several times. I know so much about you. There's so many things I want to ask. I know that you are going to be performing in Nashville.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that just a little bit to get that out of the way. So
there's Music City Fin Fest.
Yes.
And it's in August. So I was booked to play. But then the Doobie Brothers asked Coral Reefer Band to do a tour. First 2.5 weeks of August, first 2.5 weeks of September. We all said, yes, we'll do it. Sounds fantastic. And then I realized that I'd booked myself twice.
Yeah.
And I was going to be in Connecticut, New Hampshire, and New Jersey during the weekend of Music City Fin Fest.
But don't everybody get disappointed. Hang on, there's more to the story.
So I had to go with my cowboy hat in my hand and say, I'm so sorry, but we're doing the Coral Reefer Band dates. And they said, yeah, we kind of figured you'd be coming to us with this. And they said, what about playing in September closer to the show that you're doing in Franklin, Tennessee with the Doobie Brothers? And so September 14th is that date. And so I'm going to be playing sort of an offshoot of Music City Fin Fest on September 14th in Nashville for the Music City Parrot Heads. And I'm super excited about it. Did it last year, and it was a blast. And it's a nice, intimate show. I mean, at least it was last year. And I got to tell my stories of really 20 years of writing songs and making records with Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefers.
Yeah, your story goes forever. And I literally tried to do a little research to be a little smarter on this interview. And however, I got as far as how many co-writes have you done with Jimmy? Just start there.
Well, there's 20 songs on the last 7 Jimmy records, and also a Spanish language version of one of them. So technically 21 songs.
21 songs co-written with Jimmy. So you know him pretty well, right? Yeah.
As a co-writer, yes. I mean, that was our main friendship.
Now, let me tell you, I know, maybe a few people don't know, but where did you all first kind of meet? Just get it out there. Go ahead, just in case.
So just for background, we both went to high school in Mobile, Alabama, which is a city on the Gulf Coast. And we both went to, not at the same exact time, he's a few years older than me, but he went to Davidson High School, and I went to Murphy High School, which at the time were like rival football high schools and everything. So I knew that because I knew about Jimmy Buffett growing up, had heard all his records. His records were always playing when I was growing up in the 70s and early 80s, and all those records, those classic early records. So I was playing with an artist named Todd Snyder, who was on a label called Margaritaville Record, which was owned by Jimmy Buffett.
So Jimmy had already made it, and you were playing. You were just playing around towns?
I was playing with Todd Snyder on tour.
Okay.
In support of his Margaritaville Records release. So when we played in New Orleans at Tipitina's, I believe it was 1996, the famous Tipitina's Club in New Orleans, and Jimmy and Jerry Jeff Walker came to the show. And so this is a club that seats about 300 people, or maybe 400, but anyway, it's a small place.
Right.
And so the place was packed. We went backstage after the show, and backstage is like a broom closet. So everybody in that club wanted to get back there. Wow. Because it was going to be Jerry Jeff and Jimmy Buffett, the party of the century.
Right, I'm sure.
And so everybody was crammed in there and trying to get in. And there was nothing back there but just one of those backstage couches that you don't want to sit on without a doctor nearby.
Right.
And, nothing. No beer, no wine. Just
not like today's green room. Just get that vision out of your mind.
Yeah,
okay.
A crowded room. But I'm pressed up against the wall in this crowd right next to Jimmy Buffett. And we're both kind of looking at how to get out of there. Because the New Orleans is out there. It's going to be open all night. We can go wherever we want. But this place where this party of the century is supposed to be happening, it's not happening. So I look at him and I go, Jimmy, hey, I'm Will Kimbrough. I'm from Mobile. I was up there playing with y'all tonight. And he said, oh, Will, another escapee.
Nice.
And I said, oh, yeah, sure. I'm an escapee. And I laughed. And then I didn't see him for a few years.
Huh.
Okay? So Todd moved on to MCA Records. Jimmy moved on to all the things he was doing, and I went on to do other stuff. And then I got a call one day in 2003, so it's quite a few years.
Yeah.
I got a call from Jimmy, basically saying, "I want to hear what you're doing."
Did you give him your number that night?
No,
He just looked it up and found you. He found you.
He found me through
even better.
mutual friends.
Okay.
And family. And so I said, sure. So I FedExed him a box of music and sent it up to Sag Harbor in the Hamptons. And that's the address I had. And so I sent it up there. And then I took a few months, and I heard back. He said, "I want to record these 2 songs of yours." And I said, "Yes, you should. Absolutely. I give you my permission."
That's exactly the right answer you should have said. Yes, good answer.
And that was 2003. So from then on, every time he made a record, every time he made a new album, he called me and asked me to send songs and also to write with him.
And you were telling your friends and family, this is the greatest thing ever. Jimmy Buffett is contacting me for my music.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
And all the way through Equal Strain on All Parts and Bubbles Up, which I wrote with Jimmy, all the way through that, all these songs. So 20 songs and a Spanish language version.
So you know that you really vibe and you really have that connection. And I don't think it was where you grew up. I think it was just that you kind of were cut from the same cloth.
I think that helped.
Okay.
That we knew, because we wrote songs like Mailbox Money, which is about this little river in lower Alabama where the mail delivered by boat, and I knew about it. I'd been there, and we both loved New Orleans. We knew about the music. We knew the places to eat, so we got to write the University of Bourbon Street and talk about Tennessee Williams and the Neville Brothers, and I'm wearing my Neville Brothers t-shirt right now, and talk about the food and talk about the culture and the people.
So you had so much in common anyways,
we had interests in common, and that does help, especially if you're writers.
Yes.
Because what you're interested in is what you're going to write about.
Yeah.
You're going to write about your own life from the point of view of your experiences.
Right.
And so even though we had very different lives, we were both musicians. He's an extremely successful musician and business person. I'm just sort of a working artist, and that's me.
Well, you did really well, obviously.
No, it's great. I'm just saying, but we're different. But at the same time, if you're a songwriter, whatever level you're on, you're seeking the same thing. You want to tell a story, finish the song, and be happy with the result. And feel like you can play it for people and you can record it and release it. Yeah. That's the goal. I mean, it's an obvious thing.
And to watch them sing back.
So we shared that goal.
Okay.
And so obviously, Jimmy was a master storyteller, both as just literally telling a story, but also telling a story through song.
I just watched you perform, and you are a master storyteller yourself.
Well, I've learned a lot, from people like Jimmy and Rodney Crowell and Emmylou Harris and Todd Snyder, people I've worked with a lot.
Do you hear those names he's throwing out there? Because you drop away because...
But when you go work people like that, you witness it. And I will say this, too, that one of the things I do the most in the last decade has been this songwriting with soldiers and working with veterans and first responders who have seen and done things people shouldn't have to do.
Correct.
And there's a after effect. It's commonly known as PTSD, but let's just say that it's the cumulative effects of trauma, and it makes it harder to come home. It makes it harder to relate to people. It makes it harder to tell your story. You get a little more isolated. And the whole point of telling you this is one of the ways that we wrote Bubbles Up was that from my point of view, I was listening to Jimmy and just wanting to tell that story the way he was telling it to me. And it was a newer way for me to write with him. Because I'd had so much experience of that, of sort of bearing witness to someone else's story. So when Jimmy told me the story, and then at the same time, because I've done that so many times now, I've done like over 100 trips to write with these veterans and first responders. So I've written over 100 songs with people.
That's amazing.
And so now what I looked at as like other people's story, it's now my story too.
Yes, of course.
Because I've gone and listened to that many people. 1,000, 1,200 people tell me their story, and then we wrote songs in groups and as individuals. And so I used that technique, Jimmy, because I just felt like Jimmy was such a positive, optimistic person that I was fascinated by his take on what he was talking about with Bubbles Up, which was really, to him, and this is classic Jimmy Buffett, he's like, I want to write a song that will comfort someone who's struggling.
Yes.
He didn't say, I'm struggling. He just said, I want to, because that was his job in life, was to make other people happy, and I think it made him happy.
Through the lyrics, through the music, and of course, look at all of look at the entire community who is happy.
And so I was able to, I had learned through on-the-job training, listening to other people, and writers should always do that. Writers should always be at the diner, listening to what the next table's talking about, write down a few words, and then you've got,
That's a beautiful right there. That's
I mean,
exactly right.
That's what, but
Watch what you're saying at the diner. Will Kimbrough may be in the booth next to you. And next thing you know, there's going to be a song about what you just said.
I am Big Brother. But that's it. And so we've started to release some of these songs to the public because for years it was these songs that we wrote with veterans and first responders were more of a almost private thing.
So where can we find this music?
Well, you can find it on the digital streaming platforms.
Okay.
Because I have released a song. We released a song just recently for Memorial Day called "At Ease," just like they say in the military when you've been at attention, and they say "at ease." So I wrote this with 3 other great songwriters: Terry Radigan, Mark Nessler, and James House. And these are some great songwriters who've written songs that you know and love and heard a million times.
You would be okay if I played it next, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
the 4 of us, and then 8 combat veterans, women and men. So it's 12 people sitting in a circle, and I started to ask. We had a writing retreat that weekend, and we had already written like 8 or 9 songs.
Okay.
And so we had one more to write as a group. And I said, "What have we not? What are you feeling like you haven't talked about yet, or is there something that you want to pay tribute to?" Mm-hmm. And they said, we haven't said anything for the people that didn't make it back from Vietnam or Iraq or Afghanistan, and also the people that came back and didn't make it. Came back in one piece, but were hurting inside. Yeah. And didn't make it.
There's a lot of those people. Yeah.
And they said, so we want to say, "At ease, my friends, at ease. Lay your burden down."
Very nice. I will play it after this. Wait, before I let you out of my sight, I have a game show. It's 3 questions. Mm-hmm. It's called The Big 3. People want to hear this. Super easy. I'm going to give you a second. The first question is, name or tell us something that we don't know about you. Maybe you eat fish every day. You sit in a yoga pose before you go to bed. Something weird or something crazy or just something we don't know about you. Is there anything like that you can share?
Whether or not this sounds weird or not, I don't know, but I would rather be barefoot. I'd rather be barefoot. I've gone running barefoot in London. I've gone running barefoot by the side of the interstate. Okay, I've gone hiking barefoot in Canada.
So when you see Will Kimbrough on the side of the road, he didn't lose his shoes. He literally just would rather carry them. Okay, good. That's great. The question number 2 is, what is the most used app on your phone? Which one do you use a lot?
The guitar tuner.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. I do a lot of musician interviews. Okay, very good. And last question, and this might be tough for you. In your opinion, who's the most famous person's phone number you have in your phone?
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, I thought I kind of was gonna guess, but I didn't want to blow the whole game show. So perfect.
Wish I could call him right now.
Well, we all probably do.
Send him a text.
Well, he's hearing you right now. He's like, "Great, you're talking to Renee." Okay, so here's the thing. Tell us one more time where we can find you. What's your website?
I'm willkimbrough.com. KIMBROUGH.
Don't forget the UGH.
Yeah, and I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, and I have a Patreon, if you know what that is. And
I know what that is. I'll explain.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's been real fun to do that, and I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years now, and also songwritingwithsoldiers.org.
Okay.
And that's a great thing, and you can find the song "At Ease," which just came out in late May.
Okay, and we're going to play it right now.
A Memorial Day song.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But a song for all days.
Yeah.
I'm working on new music of my own, but also a collection of my own versions of all the songs I worked on with Jimmy, so that I can...
Will you come back and let me interview you? Okay,
yeah.
good.
But I'm working on that project of all the songs I did with Jimmy, all in one place, so that I can sort of promote the idea of going out and doing a show like I did today, where you play all the songs and tell the stories.
That's beautiful.
And it'd be a good show for a little theater.
And you're getting out there now. Not that you weren't before, but you're really getting out there. Yeah. And listen, if you're thinking about Will Kimbrough coming to your house and doing a house party, contact me. I'll get you in touch with him. Seriously, I was like, well, maybe I should. Will Kimbrough come over to my place? Not just house parties, but you're doing a little bit of everything. Yeah. And now you're touring and really getting out there.
Yeah, a lot of
and you got some
festivals.
Great stories, and people love your storytelling just as much as we did Jimmy.
And we might be cousins, because my middle name is Adams.
Shut up. We'll talk about that soon. All right. So let's introduce your song, okay?
Okay. This is "At Ease" And this is the first release of a song of hundreds I've written with combat veterans and first responders. And this is written with 11 of my favorite people in the world, 3 fellow songwriters from Nashville, actually 1 from New York, and 8 combat veterans, women and men, who've served this country in combat. This is a song written for the fallen and for people who made it back, who didn't make it, and also people that are struggling and haven't gotten the opportunity yet to go tell their story and have someone turn it into a song, which is a very healing thing. So this is At Ease.
On Radio Trop Rock, thank you, Will, for doing this.